Hi guys, welcome to Hot Desk, where we walk that walk and talk that talk. I'm Lani Good.
I'm Lucas.
Be money, man.
That's right. That was fantastic though, I love that.
No, that was good. We just wasn't expecting it.
What are we saying?
Go on.
Oh wait, Azraya.
I said.
All right, cool. So something I want to talk about, right, is I don't understand, and this is genuine, I'm not doing this for bands. I don't understand what's wrong with a white person wanting to identify as a black person. So the reason this has come up is earlier this week I was on TikTok. I'm always on TikTok 24/7. And there was a black lady and she had like millions of views. So obviously it was a lot of controversy. And she basically was exposing some young woman who lives in the hood in America. She has a black boyfriend. And she made it seem like a problem. She was like, she has a black boyfriend. All her friends are black. She lives in a black area. She puts like darkest tan on her skin. She wants to be a black woman. People think she's a black woman. How dare she? And she had a lot of vim. And I thought to myself, you know, I don't understand why you're so angry that she wants to be black. Like, is it really that evil for someone to want to be black?
It's not about evil. It's not about that, whether it's evil or not.
But that's the vim she had.
I have a problem with what we call being black. I have a problem with terms black culture. I have a problem with the term black music. I have the problem with black anything outside of even black hair a little bit. I have a problem with it because I feel like, sorry, I'm kind of changing the direction of the conversation already, but I feel like white privilege is not having to prefix everything in their experience with the fact that they're white.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's frustrating that even if I want to Google a hairstyle or fashion, a skincare routine, I always have to correct Google. Am I the only one who's tired of saying black men, black women? Like, 'cause the fact is, when we Google anything, the answer that's coming up straight away is catered to by white people. It's something that's made by white people, and what white people have. And I don't even like saying white people because it's such a blanket statement. But what history, the history as we know it, Western society, capitalism, and all these things have done is it's made us live life according to someone else's standards. And what white people can do is that they have a world where they can navigate any kind of space. They can go to Africa and be Africans, but then they can come back over here and be white.
Yeah?
They can. Oh, I thought you were shaking your hand. I was taking your handshake anyway. Cool.
No, man, that's a lot of growth from
what
B
they
Money
can do
right there,
is
you know.
like they can.
He thought you'd agree with her.
They can.
Lani.
No, hear me out, because they can do hood shit.
Yeah.
They can. A black girl will be twerking. And like we've
Yeah,
had, we've
that's
had,
like a wicked thing.
but we've had Miss Twerksome and these American girls that will be twerking, and it's they ghetto, they're Gucci, coochie mamas, whatever.
Right.
But once a white girl starts twerking, she can do a dance class
But
and
is it
show
her
you the health
fault?
benefits.
No, but really,
No,
like,
it's not
I
her
hear-
fault. No.
yeah, exactly.
But no, to answer your question, it's not their fault. But the problem, just another example is that you got kids from the
It is
hood,
her
like
fault, by
urban.
the way.
It's
No.
not her
The reason I'm
fault.
saying that I agree with you. It's
How?
not her fault, but
It's not her
society.
fault.
The problem is, Lani, yeah.
Because the minute
was born into this fucked up world.
The minute twerking like this doesn't serve her anymore, she'll soon remember she'll
No,
soon
but
remember
this-
what position
I
and
hear-
how
I
she
hear
needs to
what
be
you're
perceived
saying, and that's
in order
the-
to behave. It's a choice.
No.
This idea that, and I'm not talking about extremes, people that grew up in ghettos
Okay.
or surrounded by black people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about B-Money's specific example with the whole twerking thing.
Okay.
These girls are in their classes doing twerking.
And it's not
And it's
ghetto,
painful to
it's
watch,
not
first of
classless.
all.
They
And
can get
secondly,
deal off it. They can make
why
money.
is it when we do it, it's not as lucrative? It's not as popular. It's not as cool. And then white girls doing it. It's
So
like,
is
she's
this
so
the
talented.
Okay, basically, so is this where all the vim comes from? Because
Yeah.
I just feel, okay, but there's some people who shouldn't be innocently attacked. The woman could have DM'd her or sent her a nice message or even put up an educational video of why she thinks she shouldn't do that. But she had vim. She was like, she wanted people to go gun the girl in, go find her job. Why? Because she
I
wants
agree-
to,
I agree with
because
you
she
on
wants
that.
because she wants to be black. Like, it's not her. At the end of the day, don't get me wrong, we live in a society, it is what it is, innit? But at the end of but sometimes it's a little bit like effed up that we have to live with the consequences of all our ancestors, innit?
Black people
It's
are
a little
over-
bit- it's a little bit unfair.
black
No,
people
you
are-
don't have to live with the consequences of your ancestors if you're not a dickhead. Like, no one is walking around and going up to random white people in the street and be like, your granddaddy was hanging my granddaddy back. Like, no one does that.
on
Like,
set.
it's like, yeah, like, no one does that. So this idea, I'm not guilty of what my ancestors does. First of all, yes, you are. And secondly, no one is coming up to you on a regular day and like and gunning for you because of that.
They
So why
do
act
though.
like-
Black people
No, they
do gun for a
don't.
little bit.
No,
Okay,
they don't.
let me give you an
Have you ever been
example.
in
What
work with
about
a
the
black
wigger?
person? I'm not talking about on the internet. I'm talking about in real life. Have you
In
ever
real
been-
life.
have so you're in your office and black people are getting onto white people comfortably and they're not getting in trouble for it, or you've been out in public and you see people having these big loud conversations in
Maybe
restaurants,
maybe
just
not.
talking
I
about
hear what
white
you're
people.
saying.
And it doesn't
No, I hear
happen.
what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying. Of course, that's extreme. But in general, like, remember when we was in school or even uni, you'd be like, oh, this person's a wigger, because this conversation goes down to that. Even you talk black. Oh sis, I've seen this a lot. Oh sis, remember you're
But
not
on the
black.
flip
Why are
side,
you
but on the
acting
flip
like that?
side, you could tell you're a bounty. On the flip
Yes,
side, we have that.
You can, but that's my problem. Okay, I'm not even talking because I don't want to go down the route of like the dating thing in it, because that's a whole different topic. But what I'm mainly trying to say, if somebody acts white.
But what is acting
That
white?
is
But what's
problematic.
acting white
That
and
is
acting
problematic.
black?
That's what B Money was saying though.
But what is
Yeah,
that?
but that's my point. Why can't we just allow it?
The reason, but that's what we're
But
saying.
I've been told I have a
reason
white accent all my life.
but Lani, but that's the point. Anything that's seen as positive is acting white. Anything that's seen as ghetto.
No, that's not true.
No, because
I've been
most
told
of
to
the
act
time.
white in a negative way.
No, it sounds negative from the people who are saying it to you because they're saying you sound posh. Basically you sound well spoken.
So why sound like that?
It's a negative connotation given to a positive attribute.
Have
They're
white
saying
people
the
told
fact that
you sound white and meant it as
Oh
an
no,
insult?
but black
Exactly.
people.
So where it matters, where it's beneficial for you, it's gonna work. Like it's not like white people, and I'm not saying this is.
And what they would say is you speak well. You've been told you speak well by white
I'm not
persons,
saying
haven't
it's
you?
okay, but when white people say that to you, they're complimenting you. When white, oh, you don't sound black.
It's mainly,
them, that's a positive.
no,
You
but
should
I've
consider
mainly
that a
heard it
positive
from,
thing.
I've mainly heard it from
But
black
that's what we're
people.
but that's what we're
Maybe
saying.
not as an older age, but definitely when I was younger, I used to be told,
It's
why
black
are you
people
talking
saying
like a
you
white
sound
girl?
white.
But the point I'm trying to make, let's talk about wiggers in particular. If there is a white guy who has a black accent, why is it in the comments? Oh, you're not black, you know. Why can't he talk like
No,
that?
that's a problem. That is a problem.
Why is it
though.
a problem?
Can I say something quickly? I think that.
No, I agree with you. What I'm saying, that is a problem. We shouldn't be making
Oh,
comments like
right,
that.
right,
That in
right,
of
right.
itself
I think,
is, it's a
I
problem.
think we need to use the education we're being taught through this Western process and equating it appropriately. We live in a country where we're not a majority, but we're placing majority ideologies on ourselves. Like, if a black guy's acting like a white guy, well, what do you expect? He's around majority white people. I think the problem is we look at things too negatively and go off of what we've been taught rather than, hang on, wait, does this make sense? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, you can want to be black in terms of character, attribute, you know, environment, what you've been around, grown around. I've got white friends that are very much, they have black characteristics. They've grown up in black environments, around black
But
kids.
they would get attacked by some people for
No, they
that.
don't.
No, but actually they would.
Nah, they would though.
They
Do you know
don't,
what?
but
Do you
they
know
could.
what? They would, but not in the places that matter. They would, but it's
But
inconsequential.
if one of those
it's
guys made a
immaterial.
Let me quickly finish.
in the comment section, he will get called.
But do you know what else he would also get? A lot of money. So he should hold the corn if he wants to make it, if he wants it to be lucrative. He should
You
hold
gotta
that.
remember, this
Take
is where
your money and cry
Britain is very different to countries that we're sort of copying. We're not just facing this race issue, it's a classism issue as well, which kind of flow into each other very conveniently. A lot of our struggles ain't based on us being black, if that makes sense. It's based on our ethnicity, our resources, where we're from, and the things that we possess. Until we start addressing those things and understanding that there's multiple different ways to understanding how this life is lived, then you get a better insight of what you're up against. Do you get what I'm going? Like, I can't relate to what you're saying in terms of, oh yeah, a white person can blackface or want to be black in terms of change their appearance, because we're in a white country. That's not like,
but what she's saying
it's not a
makes,
thing. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like,
you know why? Yeah, because basically like Kardashians have been accused of it,
Yeah.
and a lot of these like
Yeah, it's a
Insta girls
thing.
do it. They make themselves look very tan.
Yeah.
Me, I'm
tan
not
is
with.
different to
I
black.
was just going to say this. Do you know what? But you know
Tan
what
is
it
very different to black,
we
bro.
need to.
Majority of white
Do you know
people
why
don't
this
do the black
conversation
face thing.
goes in all sorts of places? Because there's so many truths existing at one
Yes.
time. So,
Yes.
for example, we do this thing like, for example, a girl done it, and I think she was Asian. I think she was from somewhere in Asia.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And she was basically talking like, people have told me that I look like a white girl. She doesn't look like a white girl. But white girls have adopted this aesthetic where they look so close now to people of other ethnic groups that they're telling the people who are from those racial groups, you look like a white girl. No, these white girls have done such a good job making themselves look racially ambiguous, like more exotic, quote unquote, that you're now telling me that I can assimilate with them and I can pass as white. I can't pass as white. They are passing.
Would you class the
as
Kardashians
what I
as
am.
white?
I would personally, yeah.
I would.
Aren't they whatever?
They're one
But then that's our ignorance by saying.
Exactly.
They're 1/4 Armenian and 3/4
Yeah,
white.
they're from there. Oh,
I would
really?
call them white. But
Yeah.
then there's someone who's like Italian who say, I'm not white, I'm Italian.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like,
Is their mum white?
Their
Fully
mum's
white?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
their
say
mum's
something? Okay, this is.
Or half Armenian, half white. I would call them white.
I saw
personally.
someone on the internet say, if you want to be black, act black, date black men, la la la, then you have to also take on. You can't just take on you can't just take the positive of blackness and not the negatives. So when we're crying and we need our equal rights, you have to stand up and fight for us. Like you have to take on the bad too.
but I don't even like that.
But
I
yeah, because
hear
they
that.
might not even understand it.
Yeah, like, I don't even
just
like
because they
that.
like you doesn't mean they
But listen,
understand
can I
certain
just
struggles
I
that
just
you're
want
going
to go
through.
back to what you said quickly. Yeah, like I still want to talk about this. Yeah, what you said is a clear example. When someone says deep it, like when someone says you're acting white or talking white, it's generally put with something that's harmless. You go to the pub. You watch football, or
It's not.
no. Listen, I'm
though.
telling.
Lani, how has that affected your life in any material way?
I'll give you an
No,
example.
but
It has.
you're missing what I'm saying. I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying.
It's not that because I want to answer. It's not.
What am I
it's not
saying?
positive. My little sister, I never
No,
talk about
okay.
her. My
Before
little
you
sister
say
has
this, yeah.
issues.
Wait,
Yeah.
please, before we go there, because
Yeah.
that's a different problem.
Yeah.
What
But
I'm
it's to do with this conversation,
Can I,
though.
let me just let me
Yeah,
just
yeah.
say this bit first. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm not telling you that you're not experiencing negative comments from black people. What I am saying is generally, even those negative comments, they're not actually negative things. It's like someone saying, they're not. It's like someone saying, you're a good youth, you know. Like when you deep it, being a good youth is not a bad thing. But it's like, it's got a negative connotation that because you are so goody two shoes, like you're not cool.
Literally goody two
So
shoes.
it's the same thing. Someone saying, you talk like a white person. They're really saying, you speak like you can navigate this terrain
100,
really well.
I agree
And
with
then
you.
when they say, you talk a bit black, they're saying, there's a bit of not as educated. Yeah, it's a bit urban. It's a bit urban. So there's a negative connotation, even from black people. Or when we think about it, people just say, that's so black, man. Whenever you say something is black or something, generally speaking, it doesn't have positive attribute outside of being able to dance or run fast. So my point is that there's a lot of stereotypes. Unfortunately, the black ones tend to be negative and the white ones are positive. And what happens is, I know white boys who have been hood, which we call as black. But think about it.
It's genuine, right?
But think about it. We associate anything to do with that kind of environment as black. No, it's just ghetto. And there tends to be a lot of black people in that ghetto environment. So they make up the dominant culture, and whether it's Africanism, Caribbean vibes, whatever it is, their vibes kind of build the culture. So a lot of our slang, which will be associated with people who are working class, and a lot of slang is of Caribbean descent. Like we use a lot of Caribbean words, yard, brethren. Do you know what I mean? Does that mean that patois is a ghetto language or urban or black language? Or is it just, do you know what I'm saying? Or is it just the dominant language in a certain culture? So now it gets attributed. So my point is, I know white boys who've been gang, road, wear their trousers low, slits in their eyebrows. As soon as they reach a certain age and realize,
They realise it's not serving them no more.
and then they wear
It's
suit
not
and
just
tie
about-
and it's
not
Steve.
about that. It's not. I don't think it's because it's not serving them no more. I think it's because society won't let them be like that without them getting caught.
White society.
No.
Lani, this is the difference. They get to not be like that because the black guy can grow up and realize, you know what, this.
But
road
that's
guy,
a bit
listen
sad.
listen to what I'm saying though. A white boy can get to a certain age and be like, rah. Obviously, like I'm not being respectfully.
Yeah, acting this way.
I know, let me finish acting this way, right? So he goes and he says, I'm not going to do it no more. I'm going to remove the slit. I'm going to get a nice haircut. I'm going to put on a suit. I'm going to walk into this office and these people are going to see me as their equal.
And I'm going to speak
A
how I
black
know
guy
to speak.
a black guy now can do exactly the same thing. He's still walking into their office. He's still
Still a
beneath them.
nigger.
Same journey, same trajectory, same decision making, same environment, but because he's black, he's being treated differently. And so what I'm saying to you is this idea that white people should be allowed to be black. No, they shouldn't, because life is not equal and life is not fair, and you're not about to make it even more unfair.
Okay, but it's
by,
not
by saying
but
you're black. But
I don't think I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. Yeah, the reason them lot do that, even I'm going to give an example as my sister because this is very close to home. My little sister, if you lot met her, she has issues and she doesn't act. She's scared. She's a bit scared of black people, like proper scared. Like she doesn't have black friends. She's scared of dating black men. And one of the reasons is because when she was growing up, she feels like she was ostracized and made fun of because she was white. Do you understand? And so I have this issue where we look at people, and it's a genuine thing. I'm genuinely, because of my environment, I genuinely have this white accent. I genuinely act white.
But no one's disputing
no,
this.
I hear that, but the same way a white boy could genuinely have this black ways. The reason people...
But this is what I'm saying,
The
I'm not
reason that people...
disputing that either.
But wait, let me land what I'm saying. The reason people eventually come out of that is because they're forced to. It would be nice if we just accepted people for who they are.
Lani, you didn't listen to what I said then, because I just explained that to you.
But it's
the
not-
point. The
it's
point.
in a
Listen to what I'm
perfect world,
saying.
it's
Listen
not
to
nice,
what.
is
But
it?
listen to what I'm saying. The difference is the white boy is allowed to change. The black boy isn't. I'm not saying whether it's genuine. I don't care. I literally don't give a shit where you grew up, how many black friends you have. Like, I proper don't care. But what I'm saying is we are not afforded the same graces and the same
I know
respect.
that.
So this is where the problem
But it's
comes
not
in.
his fault.
But I'm not blaming it. When have I
No, of
blamed him for
course.
anything? So, but what you're saying is irrelevant. That's
But
what
they
I'm trying
get
to say.
but they get bullied for it. Have you seen the comment section?
Yeah, but it's easier to target the
but it's not-
individual
I
than-
understand. Yes, I understand that. But the society we live in, yeah, something I think, like, going back to the TikTok lady, the way she was talking about the girl, she could have spoken to her with a lot more respect. It is not her fault that she wants to be black. That's all she knows. It's not my
Okay,
sister's
but stop
fault.
saying she wants
So why do you keep talking about this one person? Like, how,
It
like what?
because okay, cool. It's the same way, vice versa. When you see black people who want to be white, people.
But
would
why
have-
do you keep saying they want to be white or black? That's my
Because they
issue.
do.
But hold on, sorry.
Deep
sorry, go on.
inside, they do.
It's not. No, they don't. Wait, sorry. I'm sorry.
people
Tell
do.
me.
But Lani, you're missing the nuance. You're missing the nuance
Yeah,
of
no,
this,
but you're
and that's
missing.
not-
Go on, please. I beg you, tell her.
Because you know why?
What am
Let
I
me tell you
missing?
something. Because let me tell you something.
You're calling it black and white.
You keep talking about white people wanting to be black people wanting to be white. There's going to be exceptions. There's going to be white people who want to be black for the exact same reasons that black people want to be white. For example, your sister is a perfect example. She's scared. She has been through things that have been so traumatic that after the fact, she is not comfortable. She does not feel safe being with black people, having relationships with black people because she has been ostracized so badly. I'm telling you now, very few white people have been ostracized so badly from their white counterparts at work, in relationships, in social settings, in their romantic
But they're
relationships.
ostracized from us.
Listen to what I'm saying. Hold on, what?
Black people will attack a white person for acting
Okay,
black.
Lani, you're not listening
That's
to me.
the
That's
point
not
I'm
what
trying to make.
But that's not what I'm talking about. So you've changed the conversation again.
Yeah, because I'm confused.
And I'm trying to explain.
Go on.
If you want to have a conversation about white people being black, that's one thing. But you need to stop equating it to black people wanting to be white. That's where the disconnect is. We can
but
have
I'm
that
talking
conversation, but you keep making this comparison, and it's a poor comparison.
I thought this conversation was about identifying as a race. That's what I'm talking
'cause
about.
we're talking about, I'm speaking specifically about white people being to identifying as black. Because
I'm just talking about identifying as a race. This is not specific.
I just think it's stupid in general.
So quickly, yeah. For
I
me,
don't think it's
I
stupid.
I think it's very simple.
Why is it stupid if you can identify as any sex?
He says I think it's very simple.
Why is it stupid if you can?
what he's saying.
No, I said it's
Oh,
stupid.
shit.
This-
Why is it
this
stupid?
argument.
If you can say I feel like a man, I feel like a woman, you can genuinely feel more black.
I
or
feel like a
more white,
nigger
bro.
today, Stacey. I'm a nigger today, doggone.
Because you wouldn't say that.
Hey, what up,
You wouldn't say
homie?
that. You wouldn't
What
say
up,
that.
homie? What up,
You
cuz?
wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that about sex. You wouldn't say, oh, today I wake up and feel like a woman. You wouldn't say that about
Okay,
sex.
so let me
Put
ask you-
respect on
let
the
me ask you- okay, so let me ask you
conversation.
the same question.
Put respect on
Okay, okay,
conversation.
okay.
Some people
Lani,
feel closer
your
to
white
stuff.
boyfriend tomorrow turns around and says, babe, you know what, today I'm
No,
feeling a bit...
you're taking the piss out of it.
Why is it
You're
okay?
taking the piss.
No,
But your
You're
white
actually
boyfriend-
taking the
why don't you
piss.
just listen? Let's have a conversation. Listen, please.
No, but he should have always been that way. I'm talking about genuinely always been that way.
Okay, you meet a white boy then. You meet a white boy, yeah? You meet a white boy. So you just met him. You don't know what he's like before. But he tells you, you know what, yeah, like, the older I get, the more that I feel like deep down I feel like I was born in the wrong body,
Yeah,
Lani. Like, I feel like I was meant to be black.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I just want to be with my niggas. How are you going to take that?
That's cute. Because
Yo, can we
what's wrong
end
with
it?
wanting to be
But
black?
this is the thing, yeah.
You're making it.
I was gonna make a point where I
sorry.
think I get where she's trying to come from.
I
right?
get it, I do.
It's like
I
I'm
don't
gonna
agree.
use kids to explain the dynamic, right? The reason I'm gonna use kids is because when you're for example, Essex, right? You have black kids in Essex, right? When they're around their schoolmates or whatever, the black boys tend to want to impress because they're not the majority. A lot of what you find is a lot of kids tend to try and impress. They try to fit in. And that is something that carries them as they grow up, right? So I get where you're coming from. A lot of people, maybe your sister and people like your sister, have grown up in environments and communities where they're not like people around them. They're not other black people like that around them to
gonna
have
be like that.
camaraderie and be a bit more urban or black or whatever you want to call it. You grow up and learn off white people. I was exactly the same. That's why I can understand where you're coming from to an extent, because when I was a kid, I I grew up in an environment where, first and foremost, there wasn't anything you didn't want to be African. African wasn't acceptable at that time. The closest thing to our blackness was being Caribbean, right? So you adopted that Caribbeanness. I was one of 4 black boys in my school, right? So, I mean, luckily I grew up in an estate, right? So what made me, I had to embrace it or over-embrace my blackness. Do you get what I'm saying? To not lose sense of, fortunately, in my household as well. So it's a lot of the little pillars that you surround yourself by, be it your family, be it your cousins, if you have a big family.
The black influence outweighed the white influence.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying to you? And I had it constantly as my core. If you don't have that, and like I said, I was lucky that I grew up in Nigeria for a period in my life. If you don't have that, and the vast majority of my peers that I chat to that haven't got that Nigerian experience or that African experience, tend to think like how Lani thinks, that haven't grown up in predominantly black areas. This is why you find online a lot of people go, yeah, like not bare black man like black gal. Well, in real life, if you chat to real black man, there's bare black man, they only like black gal. But online, the vast majority of black people are in these little pockets around a lot of white people. And the majority of these men are seeing white women every day. So your preference will be around these type of things. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Your mannerisms, the way you grow will be around these type of things. And I understand that you can want to be black in terms of mannerisms, culture.
Well,
you might want to
you
gravitate,
genuinely
all of
are.
that stuff. But in terms of like identifying, it's a whole different ball game. It's like, even when Michael Jackson tried it and he had a little skin thing, like look how many generations all of us are like, bro, Michael Jackson changed his skin because he wanted to be white. Do you know what I'm saying to you? He just had skin pigments or something like that, and that's why he had to do the whole, bleaching his skin or whatever. So I feel like, because we're in the United Kingdom, I feel like we have to be careful with the vim that we give with regards to, oh yeah, white people can't do this, and we're in their country. And that's how I view things. Like, we're in a white country.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
She doesn't care, you know?
And I get that. If you want things to change, you can't expect people that have their process, their way, and have brought you into that process and way to change things for you.
They dragged me here, brought me with open arms. They dragged me here with my singlet. And
I think rightfully so, black people are hypersensitive about anything that relates to race. Yeah, but I think it's right.
I don't know why you're clapping, because I'm going to stay hypersensitive. You're not going to convince.
They are sensitive. They are oversensitive. They are oversensitive. They are oversensitive. We are a bit sensitive.
Can I finish? Don't hijack my point, fam. What I want to say is, I think that rightfully so, black people are hypersensitive about any issues.
I knew where you was going, but she tried to throw
it off. And the reason why I say rightfully
like...
so is because all the things that make our blackness beautiful. And if we lived in Africa, we wouldn't identify as black. So let's just remove that. All the things that just make us ourselves, whether it's your kinky hair.
But we live here though.
Excuse me, I'm not done.
We live here though.
Let me be done, and you might be able to get where I'm coming from. Yeah, whether it's your kinky hair, your coarse hair, your wide nose, your full hips, whatever the case, whatever features you have, just that are can be. We can say a lot of black people look like this, has been taken away from us, even down to like being called that H&M t-shirt that said "coolest monkey in the jungle." Yeah, in a different world that would not offend a black person. Yeah. We'd wear that, but we can't even embrace the animals from our part of the world because it's even been used to dehumanize us. So we've been called monkeys for so long that we don't even want to wear a t-shirt.
You are making it deeper than it is.
No, it's not. No. Listen to this.
It's become
my
deeper
point
than
is
it
that
is.
everything
like
that
we didn't make it
that
deep.
should be natural and normal about you, that you have to even use a hashtag.
But when are
you have to use a hashtag that says Black Girl Magic just to try and let people know that you're beautiful. Every time you see something lit by black people, you have to say, oh, black people are so lit, man, because the world has told you black people ain't lit. Let me tell you something. Black people are the face of two things in this world, especially in the Western world. That's cool and that's crime. Whatever it means to be cool, they get it from black people. Whatever it means to be a criminal, they use black people we're the poster boys and girls for those two things, coolness and crime. If you want to sell some hair, some cars, Mercedes has even gotten to the point where it just puts the rappers in the ads.
What's that got to do with what I'm saying?
No,
This is the problem. You can't find the link.
I'm telling you the problem.
You guys are acting like I don't think there's racism.
Okay, no, but no one's saying you don't think it is.
Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about one little issue.
And I'm talking about the bigger issue.
But Lani, can I say something, please? Lani, this is the thing. Why do we try to extrapolate one issue from the other? These things, listen to what I'm saying. No, Lani, let me finish because I've said about 7 words. Let me finish.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep quiet.
Okay, so you know when I feel like, Lani, I feel like you're a really compassionate person.
Yeah.
And you know what you were saying about the woman on TikTok? I agree. You have to understand there's a difference between targeting and demonizing individuals and understanding the implications of those individuals' behaviors and how they all accumulate to create this bigger, wider, more insidious, horrible problem, which is racism.
You're really
and
a writer,
so
innit?
there's no problem with one single white person wanting to be black. Them in their bubble, that's not a problem in and of itself, but that is a symptom of a bigger problem. So when we start allowing white people to be like, yeah, I feel like I'm meant to be black, I feel like I was meant to be born in a black body, that's them turning around and being like, even though you're not allowed to exist in your black body, I'm going to exist and pretend to be in your black body and get to do all the things as a white person, posing as a black person, that you're not even allowed to do as an actual black person.
I get to simulate
and that's
your
where the
world.
problem comes from.
And I can
so I
exit
agree with
whenever
you,
I want.
no individual, like your sister, it's horrible. It's horrible what you've been through. And that's a perfect example of how unfair it is that on the other end of the spectrum, you've got people like your sister who are now dealing with that trauma and they're carrying it in and it's affecting other aspects.
But her trauma came from black people.
But that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the trauma that they've inflicted on her has come from white people. The
Yeah,
reason
I
why
hear
they're
that.
putting her
No,
up
I
and they're
hear
being
that.
like that
But
has come
babes,
from white people.
don't get me wrong, you guys. It's not that I'm disagreeing that there's problems and white people. I remember I said ancestors. I know our history. My point is, it would be nice. It's obviously not going to happen in my lifetime. It would be nice to get to a point where we're all equal and it's not
never gonna
that deep.
happen.
I know. Okay, you say that, but maybe I'm just an optimistic
not,
person.
you're right. It would
Maybe
be
I'm
really
an optimistic person, but it would be just nice if you see a boy or a girl being a wigger using black
I need to come back
terminology,
in. Sorry, I'm
and we
sorry.
don't call them a wigger.
This is
we
what I've
just
been trying to address
yes,
with you.
sis, wait,
Lani, why are you prioritizing them being allowed to be black over us being allowed to be black first? It seems like you're really focused on white people
Do you
being
know
allowed
what?
to be black.
I think
Can
that's
we
the
be
point
black
right there.
first? And then we'll get there. You're like, it would be really nice
Let
if
them
white people
accept
could be
us
black.
being
It
black
would be
in
really
this
nice if they stop
environment
killing us
first.
for being black first.
Then we can worry about them being black. That's a good point.
Wait. When we talk about the other thing on the spectrum, yeah, my sister acting white, that's the opposite, yeah. The people that ostracized her were black people.
If they were allowed to be black, they would have left her alone to act white. But that's why it's annoying.
No, but it's not okay.
That's, why
That's the point
I
I'm
didn't
making.
say it's okay.
It's not
This is not about what's
okay.
okay. You're the one who's talking about realities and what would be nice. It's not okay, but it's no one gives a fuck right now.
You're allowing people to keep being toxic.
I'm not allowing no one to
You
do nothing. I'm
are,
not
though.
business.
B-Money
What's
made it-
wrong?
hold on,
No,
quickly.
you're
B-Money
allowing
made-
people to be toxic. Everyone needs to allow it. Listen. No, I'm
That's
sorry.
the solution. We
No,
should just allow it.
No, I want to say something here. If somebody has doesn't have bad intentions, that's my point.
I agree with you.
Fundamentally, if someone doesn't have bad intentions and they make it a song, yeah, or they go to the fucking concert and they use the N-word because they're listening to Drake.
I'll
don't
slap
get me
you.
wrong. No, you don't have to slap them.
They do.
Just put them up on a level.
Because
and
at this point, you know well enough that
because
nigga is not a word you use.
they're
Lani,
not-
period.
No, you talk to someone on a level.
What do you need to talk to them
The reason
about?
we're having this conversation.
They know.
Do you think they don't know this?
No, they don't get. Some of them don't get it. Some of them don't get it. And us have been angry.
We haven't got the time to be that compassionate to
Nah,
explain.
sometimes be compassionate. Sometimes don't be angry.
We've been through this process. We don't have the time
No,
anymore.
I don't like the way
You
everyone
hold on. That's a
approaches
personal
it.
thing. Hold on.
No,
That's
it's
a
not
personal thing.
thing.
You're at a
You-
place where you can still give that compassion. You can still give that knowledge. You can still
I
do
just
that.
think we can talk to each other a bit nicer.
We ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody's got time for that. They didn't treat me nice.
In front of me like this, and we're talking on a level. Listen, that we're talking
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
level.
yeah.
I can tell they've done a bit of reading. They've had real conversations. They've been honest with themselves about their position, their advantage, their privilege, stuff like that. We can chat. But someone in the dance saying nigger when they know that, Lani, this idea, white people know that they shouldn't say nigger, but they say nigger in places where they think they're going to get away with saying nigger.
Can I say
you wouldn't go to his office and be screaming
I hear
nigger.
it. I hear it. But can I say something? Yes, they're not supposed to do it. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, we're not supposed to have sex before marriage either. They just think it's not that. Wait!
These false equivalences are killing me, are killing my people. False equivalences are killing my people.
No, but you're not letting me speak. You're just making faces. Some people, you think everybody understands how deep it is. Not everyone understands how deep it is. Not everyone
Once
understands how
I
deep it
slap
is.
them, they will understand.
You don't need to slap them. You don't need to slap
I'm
them.
joking.
We need to love each other more. We need
Lani,
to love each
I
other
feel like you're so
more.
well intentioned, but it's really like, I feel like you're really well intentioned, but you're ignoring the facts for what you think would be the nicest outcome. And that's where the conversation, that's why this conversation keeps going on.
How are we going to get to the end here where we're all holding hands and kumbayaing if we're all beefing? We're always beefing.
Listen, the reason why, and this is the one thing I've just been trying to say to you, yeah? The first problem is the fact that we're attributing certain things to blackness and we're attributing other things to
Can you bring your energy up? I feel like I'm very aggressive.
We're attributing certain things to blackness and we're attributing certain things to whiteness. And I think that the biggest issue here is that the fact that we're saying you are trying to be a race, but the problem is also that you're associating certain attributes to a race, not you personally.
Yeah. And we do that. It's wrong.
Cool, whatever. And I agree. And I think if we could get to a place where it could just be seen as a culture, then it will be more acceptable. However, you have to understand that there are bigger factors into it than what we're talking about it on a very face. What's it called?
I get it.
It's just on a
superficial level.
Superficial level.
Think of the statement you made, yeah, and think of it like this: take away black and use ethnicity, nationality, where you're from, right? Does it still make the same sense?
So I'm trying to act Nigerian.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You can't.
I'm black. If I was born in
on,
Nigeria, why can't I call myself Nigerian?
No, but if a white person...
What's wrong with a white person being Nigerian?
Hear me out, woman.
If they were born there, then they can be Nigerian.
Okay, what if you weren't born there?
I don't, sorry. Okay, I'm done talking. Yeah, I'm done talking.
When you use the colour, right, it makes it very stupid.
Yeah.
When we use nationalities,
culture,
it makes it very, very simple to understand, right? A white person, there's white people that are in South Africa. They're South Africans. Do you get what I'm saying to you? White person can be born in Nigeria, Nigerian. Do you get what I'm saying to you? You was born there, you can be Nigerian in that sense. You can be black in that sense of nationality, of culture, but in terms of the colour of our skin, that is a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's another.
And that's what we're trying to say. Like that can't run because you don't see black people waking up and going, "Oh yeah, because I'm living in this white society and it's gonna make my life a lot easier. Let me just."
You can wear a three-piece suit for yourself, Wilbert the Third, and you're still a nigger, mate.
We've had this whole conversation. I think it can run.
Michael Jackson was still a nigger.
Yeah.
With white skin.
It can run. One day it will be something.
I don't want that world anyway. I just want a world where I could be myself and my racism.
Well, if you can be whatever sex you want to be, you can be whatever race you want to be.
Like what Being Money said, we are the faces of both seas, crime
and cool.
And I just want us to be in a place where we have our own destinies in our own hands. Our children don't have to think about who they are, what they are, like that before they even make decisions or move. You know what I'm saying? It should just be organic the way it is for our white Asian counterparts, period.
That's on period, bitch.